Week 24 of the Hormuz crisis, and new data is telling a double-edged story. First, the good news. After plateauing through week 20, we are finally seeing diversion counts drop week over week. Now, this is a positive signal for the operations within the strait itself. It means fewer destinations are changing while in transit, and slightly more predictability than we've had in previous weeks. Therefore, a little bit less stress on the port operations in that region. The bad news, the supply chain is like a living organism. When carriers and shippers restructure trade routes to avoid a region entirely, which is exactly what's happening with Hormuz, that pressure doesn't disappear. It just shows up elsewhere in the global supply chain. And the way this is showing up in the data is unprecedented import dwell times at key strategic ports. There are 4 of them, and let's go through each one. First, Navi Mumbai, one of the largest container ports in India, something we've reported on consistently throughout the crisis, has now hit over 25 days of import dwell. This marks 6 times its pre-conflict baseline. Up next, Singapore. Singapore is the 2nd largest port in the world and widely considered to be one of the best and most efficient ports. It's seen import dwell increase by 4 days over the past month and is now at a crisis high of 11 days. And lastly, we move to the Mediterranean. In this region of Turkey, Mersin in particular, it's a very highly strategic port because you can drop off goods headed for the Middle East for overland passage and provides an opportunity to avoid the risk of moving cargo via ocean through the Strait of Hormuz. And the pressure is really showing up here. At Mersin, we're seeing import dwell over 32 days, which is just astronomical, and even transshipment dwell at this point exceeding 30 days, showing a port that's overloaded on both metrics. And just down the coast is Iskenderun. Now, this has emerged as an alternative as pressure mounted at Mersin, but now it's climbed sharply too, nearly tripling since before the conflict, and is now at over 22 days of import dwell. So the takeaway here is that Gulf avoidance has become structural. The global supply chain, it's like a chain link fence, a nervous system, the foundation of a building. If you remove pressure from one part, it has to show up somewhere else. And that's exactly what's happening here. For the first time in the crisis, we're seeing the Hormuz disruption impact supply chain operations outside of the Gulf just as much as what's happening inside of the Gulf.